Hello, Jacob Bear, Science Tutor Online here. I got an email basically asking me to support this group that's calling for a ban on pesticides that they claim are killing bees. Now, this is the kind of cause I would like to support, but as a scientist, I want to make sure that the problem is real and that this isn't just some kind of hype. And so let me show you how you can go about doing this and do your own research. This is very important if you want to be an informed citizen and get involved in causes. You have to know what you're talking about. You don't want to be taken in by people who are scamming you. And also, it'll just make you a smarter scientist and better at reading and a better student overall. So here's what I do. I skim through the article, and they're talking about this substances called neonics as a class of pesticides. So I went over to one of my favorite independent research places. I'll type it in for you. It's Strategian. So strategian.com, and here they allow you to search for all kinds of items. So I'm going to type in neonics and see what we get. Search the database. System cannot find the file specified. Okay, this is a problem. Now what I do is I went back to the Strategian's main page where they list some of their resources, and there's one. It's the directory of open access journals, so the DOAJ, and I believe it's doaj.org, or I think I can find it here if I click on biology. Okay, select a broad subject. Let's say biology. I want more in-depth information. Now select this option. I'm going to want something research-oriented and scholarly. There we go. This is the directory of open access journals. I like this one because it's got a lot of information, lots of articles, and they're all free. So I click browse. I always get this error function when I go to this site, but this time it's okay. Click all journals. Actually, I'm going to click search. Excuse me. So searching for articles about neonics. So Neonics. Neonics. And do an advanced search, or just to actually take that back. Neonics, I'm just going to do a search. I hit the wrong button there. And it found no matches. Now at this point, I was a bit confused because it seemed like there'd be some information somewhere, and this resource has thousands and thousands of articles from hundreds of different publications. And if neonics are a widely used pesticide group and there's been research done on them, there should be something here. There are no matches. So I went back and looked at. Actually, I'll skip this page for you, but I actually did a bit of research and found out that neonics is actually a nickname for what's really called neonicotinoids. And so if we change the search, neonicotinoids, and you can see I did this already, neonics, and here I typed in neonicotinoids earlier. So when you're doing research, it helps make sure you get the right terminology. Sometimes people who send you emails, and also even journalists, will give you incomplete or incorrect information. So neonicotinoids, now I do a search, and this time I got some results. Bees as bioindicators to guarantee healthy products for the consumer. Well, we're not concerned about health for the consumer. We're concerned about this this study that supposedly shows that neonicotinoids are harmful for bees. This article is about balancing the control and complexity. It's not actually about whether or not these things harm bees. It's just some suggestions on how the issue could be researched. So we'll skip that article. Some of these things are very highly technical articles. They're not about what we want. So have I found the information I need? So far I'm not having any luck, but I know I'm in the right area. Okay, here we go. Conclusion of the peer review of the pesticide risk assessment. So these articles are peer-reviewed. That means when you do scientific research, you publish your article, you publish what you're trying to find out, you publish your findings, and you usually explain the methods involved and any kind of rationalization you used, etc. And then to make an article truly considered legitimate in scientific circles, it has to be peer-reviewed. That means other scientists in your field actually check it out and determine whether or not your research is sound. They try to find mistakes that you made or possible flaws in the conclusions you reached. And if you get good peer reviews, then generally your article is considered to be legit and your research is taken seriously. Now in this case, there's a conclusion on the peer review, and let's see what the conclusion was. We could read the entire article. I'm going to just read the abstract for now. This abstract describes the article and what was done and what was concluded. And if you're ever doing research, this is a great thing. Just read the abstract first, and you'll get possibly the very information you need. At the very least, you'll be able to sort through and decide whether or not you need to read this article or not, whether or not this has the information you're looking for. So we go to full text, and hopefully there's a quick summary or a conclusion here. I'll get back in a minute when this is done. Okay, so here's a conclusion. The abstract we already read. Okay, several data gaps were identified with regard to the risk to honeybees. This means that there wasn't always data available to support the idea there's a risk to honeybees. Let's go to the conclusion and see what happens. A high risk was indicated or could not be excluded. Okay, so this shows there is a high risk. So now I'm seeing that this report was legit, the research that was done on the danger to honeybees, but I haven't actually seen the research itself yet. I'm going to jump ahead. I actually did find the actual article they're citing at one point. Neonicotinoid pesticide reduces bumblebee colony growth and queen production. And this is one of two reports that are available. Again, here's the abstract, and we can read the full text. But the conclusion's right here. Given the scale of use of neonicotinoids, we suggest that they may be having a considerable negative impact on wild bumblebee populations across the developed world. So these articles support the idea that there is some harm. And therefore, in Europe, these pesticides have already been banned, and these people that sent me the email are requesting that something similar be done in the United States. After reading this article and the other article that was also about this issue, I believe there is a legitimate threat, and I'm going to support the organizations that are trying to control the use of neonicotinoids in pesticides. However, the point of this is that you can do your own research. It's not difficult. This took me maybe 20 minutes on the internet. More if you want to really, really read it in depth. But the information's out there. Think for yourself. Check things out if they're important to you. Once you're informed, once you know what's going on, then you can act with confidence. This is Jacob Bear, Science Tutor Online. Thanks for listening, and save the honeybees.